I have married to my wife Anne, not her real name, for almost a full year now. Last month, she came to me and told me she had been cheating on me. According to her, she hadn't slept with anyone, but had met a Snapchat friend of hers, Kevin, also not his real name, at the park one night and kissed him. She had also been sexting, taking pictures of her privates and sending them to him, and receiving the same sort of pictures from him. Upon pressing her, I find out that she has also been doing this with strangers she met on CD website and Discord servers. At first, I was so heartbroken. All I could do was cry. I desperately didn't want my marriage to end this way, and wanted to work things out with her. She seemed regretful for her actions, and I thought that we could get through this. However, over the course of the next week, the desire to work things out quickly faded. I told her that if we were to work things out, that it would be a while before I could trust her again. And until that day came, I'd like to install a tracking app on her phone, as well as a keylogger. I also installed the same programs on my phone and told her she was welcome to check them whenever she liked. She was not happy about this, but complied. The main blow-up came over the next two things I asked her to do. I told her that I wanted us to start using birth control. We never had, but I didn't want to bring a kid into this mess. She immediately started saying how she didn't want to take birth control because sometimes you can get pregnant on it anyway, and that she's worried that if that happened, the baby could be hurt. This was nothing new. She had told me this before we even got married. She started spamming my phone with links to all these articles and YouTube videos, etc. I suggested we use condoms, and she started talking about what if she had an allergic reaction to them, etc. The second thing I asked her to do was to either get a job, go back to school. She is a high school dropout, or at the very least, volunteer somewhere, but no more sitting in bed on her phone in the bedroom all day. She said she would look into volunteering at this place that teaches people how to ride horses, that she went growing up. Okay, great. A few days go by, but she hasn't started volunteering there. I finally asked her why. Her reasoning: the gas tank in the van isn't full, and she doesn't want to have to stop at a gas station by herself on the way to the horse place to fill it up, because gas stations are creepy. At this point, I'm fed up. A week has gone by. I feel like nothing has really changed, and that is making excuses to not do stuff, same as always. I go to bed every night scared, wake up every morning depressed, can't eat, can't sleep, can't get any work done at my job. I don't know what to do really. After careful consideration and taking some advice from my dad, I go and tell her that I think we need to separate for a little while to allow me time to heal and allow her to work on getting to a better spot in life. She doesn't take this well, breaks down crying, gets very upset with me, but eventually agrees. I tell her that either she can stay and I'll move out of the apartment, or the other way around, and she says she will leave because she doesn't think she can afford a rent. I give her the car, $250 in cash out of our $500 in savings, and send her on her way. She takes some of her stuff and leaves. I see her at church and get together with her for lunch and a walk in the park a couple of times to talk and work things out. We see our counselor and talk to her. At first, I hoped that separation would be a bit of a wake-up call to her to get her life together. But that didn't happen. Instead, each time we meet, church, lunch, walk in the park, etc., an argument always ensues. First, she tells me that she is making changes and that I am not giving her a chance. When I point out that it had been a week and that I hadn't seen any changes, she said that it would not be possible for me to see changes if I wasn't around her, which I wouldn't be now that we were separated. I said that when she had something to show me that she had done, then we could talk. The arguments become worse each time I see her, eventually getting to the point where they are becoming toxic. She starts accusing both my father and my best friend Murray of encouraging me to divorce her. She sends them aggressive texts and tells me that I need to find better people to get advice from. She also then accuses me of being a drug addict. I vaped, but I did not use drugs, saying I needed to go to rehab. She accuses me of having girls over behind her back. No evidence of this, and is also something I didn't do. Never loving her and not knowing God. The final straw was when I was going through some of her social media accounts, trying to figure out how far the rabbit hole of cybersexting had gone. When we had talked about her cheating, she told me it had been going on for a couple of months. Imagine my horror when I realized that it had been going on at least 7 months from what I could find, which means that at most, she was faithful for 4 months of our marriage. I told her I wanted a divorce. She said she didn't want one, threatened self-harm, and started a very loud tirade in the middle of the park. I, trying to stay calm, explained that I would be getting one whether she wanted one or not, and that if she cooperated me, then it wouldn't have to drag on for months and months. She would get some of our collective marital wealth instead of it all going to pay lawyer fees, and that an uncontested divorce would have no need for evidence of infidelity, thus saving her all that embarrassment. She agreed. She filled out the paperwork and said she would work me on it. I really don't want to get back together again. Ever since we separated, not only have I been able to heal a little, but it also feels like a huge burden is gone. I now have far more money, more energy. The house is nowhere near as bad of a mess, and the general clutter is gone too. But that being said, our church and a few of our family and friends are trying to convince me to get back together with her and not go through with a divorce. I really don't think that that is right, because it is apparent to me that the relationship is not a healthy one, and that nothing is going to change about that. I love Anne, and I did commit myself to her when I married her, but not like this. Not when I can no longer trust her and have to wonder all the time what she has been doing and where she has been. I can't go through another year of this same thing. But at the same time, I guess a part of me isn't sure because I still haven't filed the divorce paperwork. What I would like to know is, am I in the right here? Is my desire for a divorce a reasonable one, or am I not giving Anne enough time or another chance when she should have one? I know this is probably a controversial subject, depending on one's views about marriage or divorce, but I just would like to know what other people think. Thank you in advance for your replies.